Hello there, folks. My name is Spoonks, and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how well each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was Malignant, making $2.7 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $9 million and a worldwide total of $24 million. So to start things off on a positive note, it has now made more than half of its initial budget of $40 million, which is not bad to say the least. It could have been a lot worse, and judging by how well it's doing internationally, and if it keeps doing as well it has been internationally, I think it definitely has a good chance at making back its initial budget. It's most likely not going to get close to doubling that 40 million budget, but at the very least it will make the initial budget back, which right now that's not bad, especially since this is a movie that kind of fell under the radar, especially domestically, given how little advertising or buzz there was before the movie came out, and seeing how poorly it is doing domestically. It fell 50% this weekend, and it's probably not going to be in the top 5 for much longer. I think the worldwide totals is probably the best you can ask for with a movie like this in terms of how it's doing. Number 4 was Candyman, making $3.5 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $53 million and its worldwide total to $68 million. So the movie continues to do well for itself. It has more than doubled its $25 million budget and had its shortest drop-off in its entire theatrical run with just 26%, which is very good. And the fact that it even made as much as it did this weekend while also being available to watch at home on demand this weekend is also rather impressive. So this movie's still doing well for itself. It's making a lot of money. I think it might be on its way out, though, despite it still doing pretty well since how low the numbers are for the movie. And with October coming out, there are more horror films, I suppose, that are going to steal this audience away. But for right now, I think this movie is still in the clear. I don't think it's going to top Conjuring since it's so close yet so far, to put it in a way. But again, this is still a solid performance at the box office. It is doing a lot better than many of the films that have been coming out recently, and I think everyone is pretty satisfied with how well this movie has done. Number 3 was Macho, making $4.4 million on its opening weekend domestically, and the international numbers didn't really boost the movie all that much, but it is sitting at $4.6 million worldwide. So yeah, pretty much like Malignant, I wasn't expecting this movie to do all that well. They barely advertised it. I saw little to no buzz around the movie, and reviews for it have been very mixed, so I wasn't really expecting all that much for this movie. But I thought that maybe Clint Eastwood's name would at least bump it up a little bit, like The Mule back in 2018 did surprisingly well, but no, it did not. It well underperformed at the box office this weekend, and with the movie costing $33 million and opening this low, I cannot really see it making that much money back. It's really going to need some sort of boost in the coming weeks to really help it. And this is also another Warner Brothers movie, so it was also released on HBO Max the same day it went to theaters. I am unaware of how well it did, but given how I have seen nothing for the movie since it came out, and I've seen no buzz or anything on the rounds in terms of social media like Twitter or just talking to other people, I can't really say that I think it did all that well on HBO Max either. So hopefully there's something happens that just helps this movie in some way, because this is a pretty soft opening for Cry Macho right now. Number 2 is Free Guy, making $5 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $108 million and a worldwide total of $304 million. So this movie continues to hold very strong. This weekend it had just a drop off of 9%. That is insane. This is one of the biggest movies in terms of holds and drop offs of the year. I'm honestly astounded at how well this movie is doing in terms of drop offs and longevity and holds. I haven't seen a movie do this well since probably Raya and the Last Dragon back in March, or even Quiet Place 2 back in May, because these movies have been just crushing it in terms of hold and keep they kept bringing people back to the theater and kept encouraging more people to see it, and it obviously makes me very happy to see that those movies did that, as well as this movie continues to do so. And I think that it's definitely going to surpass Jungle Cruise domestically to become the fifth highest grossing film of the year, and it has already surpassed Jungle Cruise worldwide. And not only that, it has made $300 million worldwide and became the fifth film of the year to do so, which is also outstanding. I still do not know when this movie's going to let go of its holding power it has on the box office, because this movie is just doing things I haven't seen in a while, and I'm very happy for it. I enjoyed the movie a lot, as you can tell, or if you've seen my review on the movie, I really enjoyed it, and I'm very happy that it's doing as well as it has been, and I can't even think of when it's going to lose steam. So keep doing what you're doing, Free Guy. You're doing very well. And finally, let's end the video off with the number one movie of the weekend, and that was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, making $21 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $176 million and its worldwide total to $320 million. So this movie has now topped the box office charts for a third weekend in the row, and ironically enough has become the third movie to do this year at the very least, following behind Godzilla vs. Kong and Raya and the Last Dragon, both released back in March, which is very good, though obvious since, well, there is lack of competition. It became the fourth film to surpass 300 million worldwide, which is good, and domestically at least, is now the second highest grossing film of the year, surpassing F9 The Fast Saga's 172 million domestic total run, and is currently on track to surpass Black Widow, which is stellar domestically. And given how well it's doing and how much it's been outpacing Black Widow, I can see it surpassing it worldwide as well. I know that kind of seems like a lot because it is like around 50 million away from its worldwide total of Black Widow. But given that Black Widow was doing a hybrid release where it was also released on a streaming service for $30 and thus has become the most pirated movie of the year, while Shang-Chi is just a theatrical exclusive, that gives Shang-Chi the upper advantage, I think. And also, once again, Shang-Chi is currently outpacing Black Widow in terms of box office, so I still think it's going to be able to surpass it worldwide and domestically as well. But once again, this is still a very good weekend for the film. It had a shorter drop off than last weekend. The buzz is really good with this movie. People are still encouraging others to go see it. I still think it has a couple more weeks of steam left before like all the major competition comes and dethrones it. But for right now, I think things are looking good for the movie right now. And those were the top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, but we're not quite done yet as we've got another week ahead of us and new movies hitting theaters this weekend. And this weekend, we only have one new major release that I'm aware of, and that is Dear Evan Hansen. Oh boy, this movie. Okay, so they've been promoting it a lot. I've seen tons of promotion for it, and the studio clearly has a lot of confidence in the movie since they premiered it at the Toronto International Film Festival a couple weeks ago. and there is certainly buzz around the movie. The problem is the buzz is not that good. Pretty much everyone who is talking about this movie is talking about it in a negative context. Not a lot of people are excited about it, or they are excited about it because they think it looks so incredibly bad that they're just so excited to see what a train wreck it is. And even though it premiered at TIFF, reviews have not been so kind to the movie. It has been getting pretty negative reviews from what I've seen. And also that it's a musical, and those are much more harder to sell to people to get them to see it at the theater. So this one's going to be interesting. I don't exactly know how well it's going to do at the box office, but I am pretty curious to see if it will do fairly well. Will it be like a Greatest Showman and just crush it at the box office? Or will it be like In the Heights and sadly crash and burn? Shame on all of you who didn't see it at the theater, by the way. At the box office and become a box office failure? I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see, and we will truly see how well this movie does, as well as the rest of the top 5 on the next box office chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you guys think of the results? Were you satisfied, unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links right there. And until next time, guys, stay sharp.